Bonjour et bienvenue pour une nouvelle séance de French dans mon salon avec mon chat. Bonjour mate, bonjour mate, bonjour mate. Aujourd'hui, nous allons voir common sentences in French for travelers. If you are going to France and you're feeling nervous about speaking in French, today we are going to cover all the different situations you might find yourself in. Before we get started, please click the subscribe button. This means le monde pour moi. If you don't follow me on Instagram yet, you can find me at Bonjour Mate, and you can also find me on TikTok if this is where you prefer going. Allez, c'est parti, on y va. Dia, tu viens m'aider? Elle est partie. Number 1, essential greeting sentences or words. Number 1, bonjour. Bonjour. Bonjour is very simple, but it goes a long way. French people appreciate if you start any sentence when you haven't seen them before, obviously, with bonjour. Start with bonjour and you should have a friendly response. Make sure you pronounce bonjour. Bon, jour, bonjour. Number 2 is bonsoir. Bonsoir. Bonsoir is used in the evening. So you would say bonjour all day long, and then when the evening comes, you say bonsoir. Bonsoir. If you walk into a restaurant after 6 p.m., you say bonsoir. Merci. 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 Merci again goes a very long way. Say merci whenever someone does anything for you. Merci. S'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît is the formal way of saying please. So it is essential to know it. You would always use s'il vous plaît if you are in a restaurant or any setting in which you do not know the people and that you are showing them respect. S'il vous plaît. And then, lastly, comment ça va? Comment ça va? If you are greeting someone that you've met a couple of times and you want to ask them how they are, you say comment ça va? And it is a nice way of acknowledging them. If someone asks you comment ça va, you can respond with ça va. Ça va. Asking for help. Always start with bonjour and then ask your question. Excusez-moi, pouvez-vous m'aider? So imagine you are walking down the street somewhere in Paris and you stop someone, you are going to walk up to them and say, bonjour, excusez-moi, pouvez-vous m'aider? Now, if you're asking for direction, you are going to say, excusez-moi, où est? And then mention what you're looking for. Excusez-moi, où est la gare? Excusez-moi, où est la boulangerie la plus proche? How do you say that you are lost? You can say, je suis perdu. Je suis perdu. Et bonjour, bonjour, excusez-moi, je suis perdu. If it is too difficult for you to formulate a full sentence in French, you can always stop someone with bonjour madame, bonjour monsieur, and then just say parlez-vous anglais? Parlez-vous anglais? Now, dining out. When you are dining out in France, when you walk in, you always say bonjour, and you always wait to be given a table. You don't sit randomly in a restaurant. That's very important. The waiter will take you to your table. And most likely when the waiter walks up to you, you'll have to tell him for how many people do you need a table for. So for this, you will say une table pour, and then the number. Une table pour deux, une table pour trois, une table pour quatre, s'il vous plaît. Remember that, s'il vous plaît. When you are ordering, you say je voudrais, then the name of the dish, and then add s'il vous plaît. Je voudrais le poisson du jour, s'il vous plaît. Je voudrais un verre de vin blanc, s'il vous plaît. And to ask for the bill in French, you say l'addition, s'il vous plaît. L'addition, s'il vous plaît. With transportation, if you are getting a taxi, you always start by saying bonjour again and then tell the direction. So, je vais à l'hôtel de la Place. Je vais à la Tour Eiffel. Je vais, then your destination, and then add s'il vous plaît. On a bus, we use the term un arrêt for a stop. So you can say je m'arrête à l'arrêt de la Tour Eiffel. Je m'arrête à l'arrêt des Champs-Élysées. If you are asking for a train ticket, you can say je voudrais un billet de train pour Lyon. Je voudrais un billet de train pour Lyon, s'il vous plaît. When you walk into a shop, always say bonjour. And if you want to ask how much something costs, you can say combien ça coûte. Combien ça coûte, s'il vous plaît. If the shop attendant asks you if you need help, you can respond, je regarde seulement. Je regarde seulement. When you want sizing in French, you use the word taille. Taille. Une taille plus grande, une taille plus petite. So if you want to ask them if they have a bigger size, you can say avez-vous une taille plus grande, s'il vous plaît? Avez-vous une taille plus grande, s'il vous plaît? Voilà. I hope that by learning these sentences, you feel more comfortable at the idea of speaking in French while you are in France. Please note that in Paris, a lot of French people do speak English, so you can always say parlez-vous anglais, s'il vous plaît, if you are confused. But the rest of France is a little bit trickier. French people don't always speak English in the rest of France. So it is good to have a bit of French knowledge. It's not the end of the world if you are not fluent, but learning these sentences that we've just learned today will definitely be helpful. If learning French is your thing and that you want to learn more, check out my other videos and please click the subscribe button. This means le monde pour moi. Voilà, bisous!